Welcome back to Nest Studios. I'm your host, Birdtendo, and today we finally got them all, the Legacy Stunticons. From Motormaster to the arm armaments and the leg armaments of the mighty Menacor, we're gonna cover them all. As of this recording, today is my father's birthday. He would have been the big 5-0. Please drop some wishes for him. I'm already making supper for him, although I am gonna eat it all by myself. But truth be told, I have been seeing a therapist, and well, I having trouble getting through his passing. So gonna get some updates on my medication and whatnot. But anyway, enough about that. Let's have a look at the Stunticons. Supposing we could get Motormaster out of the way. Fun fact, this guy was supposed to be the original Nemesis Prime. It didn't happen. And he's practically a reverse version of him. The front of the car becomes some boots, and the back of it becomes his body. And this trailer is pretty darn sweet. This thing doesn't just form a battle platform, it also forms, well, we'll get to it. It's pretty darn sweet, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, this vehicle mode is just fantastic. It's hefty. It's hefty, and not a lot of quality control issues that I could care less about. But this is a great figure. This really is. I'm glad I got this off Amazon for a pretty nice price. Same with his arm armaments here, drag strip and dead end here as well too. They're practically retools of themselves, mainly involving their transformation. Hey Spud, how are you? You see where Dead End's arms are and where Drag Strip's arms are? They're practically retools right here. Especially Breakdown and Wild Rider. Wild Rider was pretty easy to find price-wise for a deluxe class figure with 2 guns and a sleek black I believe this is a Ferrari that he is, and Breakdown here is supposed to be a Countach. That's a Porsche. That is a race car, I believe. I forgot the brand name of it, but this big fella here is a Kenworth Aerodyne Sleeper. I'm pretty sure this is a Pirelli, if I'm mispronouncing it, a Pirelli race car. F1 race car with 6 wheels, the obligatory 6. And Breakdown here is supposed to be a Countach. And apparently people like to, this is where the pet peeves of collecting all the Stunticons are. This deluxe class figure goes for prices that are unbelievable. Not gonna lie, some nice weapon storage, and I don't mind the Evo Fusion gimmick. But it's the price that counts. A lot of people were very disappointed, and I could care less about the G2 repaint coming soon, but 121, 150, 190 for a deluxe class figure, yet people hate it. Hello? Are you trying to wallet rape me with those prices? I mean, come on. It's a deluxe figure, not a commander class like this big fella. Or an Ultra Magnus figure that I want to get my hands on, Studio Series 86. But my goodness, this guy was hard to get, and I had to wait a while. Wild Rider was easy, and he came right before him. And of course, these 3 came right before the leg armaments. But my goodness, for a Countach, for this little Countach, my goodness, they really just pump out the prices. They're literally scalping this poor thing. But of course, the vehicle modes are pretty sweet. They were built by Megatron to conquer the roads, and considering we're going to be getting the aerial bots in the Age of the Primes, I am very interested in what they're going to be doing to Silverbolt. Maybe do the original G1 landing gear mode or whatever the heck it is, but I'm pretty excited to see that, and I'm hoping that they also have the same design as Legacy robots. from WFC to Legacy. So there's that. I suppose we could get to the arm modes here for Drag Strip and Dead End. That's his head. It's a car seat. Isn't that lovely? Dead End, he's practically covered up. He's practically just covered up. And Drag Strip is just out there. Why don't we get into their robot modes? Shall we? We shall. So here's Drag Strip and Dead End in their robot modes, and they look pretty good. I'll actually say that Dead End looks pretty darn accurate to his original cartoon appearance. Oh, I forgot a step it appears. That's okay. Then again, it's always exciting to transform these combiner robots, but oh yeah, Dead End looks very accurate to his cartoon appearance. I kind of wish his feet were a little bit bigger, but I suppose that's okay for such a rounded car. Poor Dead End was always the depressing case. Even though he fought on the side of the Stunticons, he could care less about the war because he was so depressed and so just done with it, really. He just didn't really care much about the war. Poor guy. At least he has a swivel at the head. Nice movement around the arms. Pretty good bend. Swivels here and there. No fist articulation, though. He's got a good waist. Pretty good bend at the knee. And nice foot articulation. Even backwards for the... which is more for the robot... for the transformation. I mean, Dead End should be grateful about the things that he has, really. He shouldn't be all mopey, and he shouldn't just mope so much. Drag Strip, on the other hand, he's always so eager to win. I can imagine the Stunticons being on Velocitron, you know. Just some cheatsy geeks trying to win the races and whatnot, but Drag Strip here looks pretty darn sweet in his robot mode. He's like a nerdy girl wearing yellow pajamas all around, pretty much. My goodness, that waist is huge. He's pretty much got the same articulation, the swivel and the bends and everything. Again, he's a retool of Dead End right there. Just with some extra leg articulation that everybody likes. So that's pretty nice for Drag Strip, and I got him in this little If you see where I'm going with this video, then you'll pretty much understand what I'm doing here. So there is that. So there's that. And that's the armaments for the Menasor Combiner. Pretty much. Breakdown and Wild Rider. My favorite leg armaments that took pretty long to get. These guys are practically the same mold. The difference is the price points. And I've already talked about them. But with Wild Rider here, he was of course pretty cheap and pretty easy to get. His Ferrari mode is pretty good. I would say his armaments up here, the guns, are pretty sweet. The kibble management is alright here, especially on the underside of cars where people don't dare to look under. And you can actually see he's got a bit of a turbine right there too. You know, a little jet turbine he can use to plow through other cars and whatnot. When he did come in the mail, there is a bit of a scratch on there. That's okay. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, the figure, it was just in the box, you know, and I didn't know there was some scratching of any kind. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the scratching. Breakdown, on the other hand, listen, he's got great weapon storage, considering he only has one gun. And, you know, to transform the guy, you gotta pluck off this little spoiler here. I will admit, for a retool, which is that for practically a redeco, excuse me, with minor retools, he isn't so bad for a Ferrari Countach hybrid, if you would. This is what I would call a Lamborghini hybrid, if you will. So you take a Lambo, you mix it up with a Ferrari, and all is good in the world, so there's that. It's just people selling this for prices that are unbelievable. I mean, seriously. I suppose there isn't much to say about them considering they are just leg armaments, but I suppose we could get into their robot mode right about now. Well, look at this gallant duo, huh? I would say more valiant duo, actually. Let's have a look at Wild Rider first. Now, it should be evident that the backpacks on Wild Rider and Breakdown are practically the same. And pretty much the articulation goes as well, too. But yeah, Wild Rider looks pretty intimidating with that red face and side-like horns on the side of his head right there. And those two blasters, watch out, they pack a punch. He's Wild Rider, and man, does he want to bust something up. Yes, he do. Pretty nice figure all around. He's got a swivel at the head and some nice little jointed goodness. Bend at the elbow, no wrist articulation. He's got a nice swivel, a good kick, and a pretty nice little knee joint there, and awesome pivot. Look how far that pivots. And ankle rockers too, which is more for his transformation. But that's pretty sweet. And Breakdown, on the other hand, is also pretty good. That gun and the spoiler turns into a nice little sword for him to wield, and look how cool he looks. Yeah, you shouldn't be putting white figures in sunlight for a while because then they'll get sun bleached, and the whites will start to yellow actually. So you gotta be a little bit careful. Of course, the same articulation, the same backpack ordeal, but overall, just a great figure. Just a nice little figure. I can kind of see why it's pretty expensive. But then again, you shouldn't charge so much for such a nice little figure. I mean, come on, people. I'm not talking about Hasbro here. They got very reasonable prices, but my goodness. Sometimes you need to take it a little bit easy on the prices sometimes. So there's that. As I get Wild Rider into a nice position. Don't they all look so swell together? Yes, they do. Even the red faces and whatnot. I suppose Dragstrip and Dead End have a bit of something in common. Visored faces. And that's pretty much it for the limbs. Now we got to have a look at the big man himself. Of course, that being the one, the only, better improvement from Combiner Wars. The man himself, jackknifing to ya, it's Motormaster. And so, we have the final frontier of the Stunticons himself. This is Motormaster. I'm actually going to remove the trailer because this plays a different part of him. This is basically the standard front of Motormaster right here. I've seen third-party companies incorporate the first half of this trailer into his mode, and the second half pretty much into his combiner mode as well too. But this is a whole lot different. Where you see Big Motor here actually forms the chest, and this whole entire trailer section also forms the arms and legs that will attach onto the combiners, the arm armaments and the leg armaments. But I gotta say, this is a screen accurate representation of the truck mode, in which I think this is actually supposed to mimic the Earthrise Optimus mold that was still around at the time before the Studio Series 86 Optimus mold. So that's something pretty cool. He's a Kenworth Aerodyne Sleeper, which is pretty sweet. And, yeah, this is going to be a great combiner. There's already some kibble you can see with the chest and the back of the head, but you don't see it that much. I figure, hey, while I'm here, I'll get the trailer organized up here. So yeah, this big slab right here actually comes apart. This will form the main torso of Menacor right here, if we can get it out. You gotta be careful around this piece because it has a tendency to pop off. You can always pop it back in. But that's gonna form something else, and this is gonna form a giant cannon for Motor Master to pilot. Right here. There we go. Oh, I should also state, time of this recording, October 11th is my birthday. So I might as well turn this into a birthday special. Maybe consider it menacing, considering we are also doing a Menacor combiner. There's a Motor Master sword. It's pretty nice. I could have used some more length, but what can you do with these commander classes? So, then what we can do is, these are the arms of Menacor right here, and these are the legs right here, and this is the barrel of the cannon right here. There's actually two ways you can do this. This is the former way for Motor Master's robot mode. Just keep it like that. Then, what you want to do, hope I'm getting this right. Oh, one of my transformers just fell off. It was just Nemesis Prime, it's okay. Nothing too big, I suppose. Okay, it's kind of been a while since I've did one of these. From what I know, I think it goes this way, and then... Okay. Then these boys actually come in pretty later. Yeah, because from what I know, it has something to do with the arms. I believe they go in here. Oh boy. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while since I've done this. Because I know it has something to do... Hang on just a minute. Okay, do you see why I do this in stop motion? So, what you want to do is... First off, you got the cannon part. You're okay with that. Then what you want to do... You hear that? That's good ratchets. You want to straighten this out. Then rotate it around. And lay it flat like that. Good as is. Especially with the combiner ports up there as well too. It's good as it is. Just like that. Then, the armaments will... You gotta bend them at this angle. Then, oh boy, excuse me. Sorry. Okay, the camera just clicked out for a second. So, these arms, they're right here. You gotta bend them at an angle, something like this. Just referring back to my instructions here. Oh boy, I got it on reverse. Okay, so then you want to bring in the torso, and... Let's see. Okay, you want it at this angle. I believe... Actually, no, it's wheels first. Golly gee, I'm sorry, guys. I know this is a little rough. Could have sworn there was something else involved with this. Oh yeah, you gotta rotate this, then that'll allow you to peg that in. Yeah, it goes something like that. If it can actually peg in, my God. Okay, there we go. Okay, then you take this and you plug it in there. Come on. There we go. So the leg armaments, what you want to do is fold them back like this. Just like that. Like if you were getting it ready to combine in a Menacor. And then this one too. Gotta be careful though. Gotta be careful considering the plastic quality. It is good quality, don't get me wrong. You just gotta be a little bit careful. That's all. Okay, then looks like this whole section rotates around. Then what you want to do is plug them in there and plug them in there. There we go. That's Motormaster's base right there. I'm just gonna move things around a little bit. All right. And then the cannon goes somewhere around here. Oh yeah, of course. You gotta line it up and slot it into the base. I don't often transform it into this mode because I like the Menacor mode a little bit better. So there's the base mode. Here's Modi's sword. And speaking of Modi, we're going to take him and just one final touch. Take his sword and we pretty much put it into his hand. And there is Motormaster in his robot mode. He looks freaking cool. Very identical to his original G1 cartoon. No Combiner Wars, Gorilla Arms, nothing of the like of that in there. He's just very identical, and he's got truck bits for boots. Are you seeing those freaking shoes? That's impossible to do in original G1, so you gotta work your way through. I think Mark Marr did a great job doing this. And, you know, it feels like I'm holding a Commander Class Rodimus Prime because this was also a Commander Class. But he just looks fantastic. So for articulation, he's got a good swivel at the head. There's no ball joints, no look up and down considering he's wearing a little hoodie. But he's also got some great slick movements. Though when it comes to moving the arms, it feels a little sticky, like the paint is going to stick on you. But look at this, hand rotation. Something else I find pretty cool is if you take off Modi's sword for a minute and you want to do something along the likes of this, that's possible. And then it's more dynamic. That's pretty cool. I'm going to take that fist out right now, actually, because that's more for his combiner mode. So there's that. He's got clicky goodness at his legs. He's got a nice waist swivel. He's got a great bend at the foot. Great bends at the knees. It's pretty much double jointed. There's no heels on this, so you got to be a little careful when trying to pose him. Speaking of which, I'll get him in a pretty good pose here. I actually thought of this when I first got Motormaster. Alright. We'll take his sword. Just like that. Get everything straightened out. Then we can take drag strip. We can take drag strip there. Dead end there. Then there's Wild Rider. There he is. Hang on, I actually got a better idea. So, strip in the dead end, and then we can get Wild Rider and Breakdown right there. Just make sure they're all presentable. And then take my camera and get a good angle, and there we go. I think that's screenshot worthy, don't you think? I think so too. Now, they call the Stunticons the Stunticons for a reason. And the reason is actually pretty good. I think I'll do this combined form on camera just to save some resources, considering I actually know how to transform these guys. So, first thing we want to do is get these guys out of the way. Then we take off Motor Master's sword. We get him straightened up, just like that. Then we can open up the arm panels, put those back in, just the way they were. We'll leave the legs as they are for now. Then we'll take this leg, this arm. Then what we want to do, open that up. There's Menacor. Oh, he is ready to roll. And we can plop out those menacing horns of his. And we can tuck that back in, just like that. Then he's also got butterfly joints, but that's more of course, for the transformation. So, let's see. I think we have to position these up. Position the arms up. Let me zoom out. Okay. So, there he is. Look how big he looks. He's going to look a whole lot bigger when we get him ready to roll. So, then what we want to do, rotate that, bend that down. That's going to make a nice little back. Those arms are going to make a nice little back, like octane tanks almost. Those are like little fuel tanks on the back, and I think that's pretty sweet. Then, this is actually pretty complicated. We got to adjust these legs. This is, for me personally, a pretty hard part. Because what I like to do is open these panels up, and it gives pretty good clearance there, I suppose. But then again, you gotta really kind of futz with it, as Bolt Matrix would say. I hope he's doing okay with his life. Alright. Let's see, come on. Wait, hang on. I actually know what to do here. Tell you what, we're gonna tuck the legs in for now. We're going to tuck them in for now, actually, so. I know I say things twice. I'm like a Jacob Tutu, if you will. Leave a like if you get that reference. Okay. Maybe I didn't have to rotate the waist, actually. So, these little holes here play a good role. We'll find out pretty soon enough. Click that in. Oh, these legs, I tell you, they're a little complex. But then again, this is a first time for a legacy combiner like Menacor. Okay, come on. Come on, sunshine. Come on. You can do it. Believe in yourself. That's a good place to start. Come on. There we go. So then we can fold these sleeper panels down. Just get them lined up good if we can. And okay. There goes one. And come on, number two. There we go. Then these little toe bits will fold out, peg in, fold out, peg in. I still love the mass transformation. Then, what we could do is take this. Now, pay attention, alright? This little mechanism will come into play pretty soon, but we take the Menacor piece. Plop them in there. Get them good and lined up. There is a little collector's piece that's based off the original G1 toy. I really don't need it. I find this to be a little bit better than the original. It's mainly color-wise. It gives it a little bit more color, but then again, that's kind of my ideal. But that's pretty much the menace chest done, taken care of. So now the limbs. The legs will stay the same. So we plop that up. We can slot that in. And then, come on, this one. Move it right there. Plop that up. You can see now he's got some nice height. He's got some nice height to him, especially compared to Mitoko. He is very big. Outshines her, but then again, she tore a Nomu off with her own legs. Then, these arm bits, you'll want to extend them out. Alright. And then the hands will come out right there. You hear that? That's good articulation right there. And then, we get this. The wheels can fold in right there, nice and snug, as a bug in a rug. So this is Menace's left, right there. You can see the slot, and there we go, nice and good. He's almost done. Well, halfway there, kitten on a stair. Do this side, right there. And then we fold in everything here and here. Make sure everything's good and ready. Yeah, I think everything's good and ready. And then, all right, double check to make sure the length is all good. We're good. Almost done. Then take the cannon, bend it. Then we make this little bullhorn cannon-like thing that people like to see. There's that. And we take dead end, drag strip, breakdown, and wild rider. These will be the armaments. Hang on, let me do that again. Okay, that should work. And now, I got a little ahead of myself. Before we straighten out the arms, we gotta put the bots on first. So, you gotta have a look at the peg holes and make sure that where things go. So first we'll take dead end, and what I like to do is leave the guns on so Menace has some more armaments on him. So you take dead end. Excuse me. And we incorporate this articulation here, which is really sweet. Maybe to get a better view of the arm that he's going to be using. So, what we do is take dead end, line the pegs up with the slot, and the magic will happen in a moment. So, make sure he's in there good. And what we want to do next is rip him in half. Oh, yes. There's a special little cog in there that allows you to rip your own Stunticons in half. And we'll... Come on. Okay, something's fighting me. There we go. So we put that in there. And Menace's arm is good to go right there. And then, okay, all right. So the leg armaments, they can pretty much go wherever you want, but I like to follow resource material, so there is that. Because apparently they're a scramble. Apparently this is a Scramble City combiner, but he can't really scramble his limbs together. So what we'll do now is Get him in a good pose, and we'll take... Yeah, I think that's good enough. Okay, we'll take drag strip, and this is totally up to you. You can do this if you like or not. We'll rotate his guns around, make sure his spoiler is flush so the missiles don't shoot off of his spoiler. Then line it up. Make sure it's well good in there. Make sure it's really well good in there. Things will fight you, and that's okay. You always gotta make sure to fight back. Oh boy. Come on. Come on, sunshine. Alright, that's in. Good and snug as a bug in a rug. Now we just, if we can, come on. Come on. There we go. We rip it in half. That's very interesting engineering with these combiners. So, then we bend it over, and now Menacor is pretty much wasted on Energon. Man, this head keeps coming undone. I don't know why. Maybe I got it on wrong. You hearing all this good ratchety... That's good ratchety goodness, though. I love it. I love his articulation. Oh. Gotta really make sure it's just in there good with those legs. Alright. Okay, then we can... Come on. Okay, I think it was good enough, but now it's starting to fight me. Stop fighting me. Come on. Okay, there we go. Now that arm is in good. Oh, God. Sorry, Midako. Then again, this is a Decepticon we're looking at, so there's that. Almost done. We're thankfully almost finished. Oh, God. Right. Let's make sure everything is good and lined up. Doesn't look like everything is good and lined up. Okay. We'll extend that out a little bit more. Alright. There we go. Okay, almost done. Pardon me while I take a breather and look at resource material. Okay, we're almost finished. I say that a million times. But, okay, so basically... Wild Rider is going to form this leg right here, this little leg. What you want to do is be careful because this is clear plastic. Let me pull out breakdown for a minute. You see that? There's cracking on it. You got to be very careful. Alright, so got to just kind of wiggle it a little, pop that open. And pretty much kind of fiddle with it. Maybe get a little extended out even further. I like to use these as rocket boosters for him. And then we find our opening right here. Not up there, down here. Basically, the mechanism behind this is that it will close up one of Menacor's legs. And you got a pretty nice flush foot. And to further complete this, now I gotta be very careful because of the cracking. Come on, don't crack on me. Don't crack on me. You were $120 on Walmart.ca. Don't crack on me. Whatever you do, just don't crack on me. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. So, we'll leave it as it is. All the weapons are already in there. I wish there was better placement for the weapons, but that's okay. So now, the final frontier to complete Menacor. Come on. Get in there. All the way. Come on. Come on, baby. Yeah, I think Bob's your uncle right there. Come on, can you go further? Yeah, that's as far as you can go. And ladies and gentlemen, this is, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Transformers Legacy Menacor Combiner. And I gotta tell you, when I first got Menacor, when I first got Modi with Motormaster with Drag Strip and Dead End, and I first combined them, I was giggling like a little schoolgirl. Because he's so huge. He's so big, and I like him. I am so happy that I got this whole thing taken care of. Sure, you got extra parts, but the instructions tell you Menacor can use his cannon. Don't be such a Gen 1er. Let's all be grateful now because, Menacor's got a sword. He's got his bigness and everything else with him. That's how good he is. So, you may have seen articulation already, but if you haven't, don't worry, I got you covered. So, head swivels. That's all it does. The head just swivels. No extra movement. Arms are on ratchety goodness. The elbows can bend and the arms can move out on extra ratchety goodness. The fists, ratchety goodness. How many times do I gotta say this? Ratchety goodness. Goodness gracious. Jeepers creepers, where do you get those peepers? Pretty nice waist swivel. A little bit loose. That's okay. Legs, ratchety goodness. Feet, pivot. They pivot. Isn't that cool? Knees, ratchety goodness. Thigh swivels. This is a commander class you can get in any pose that you wish. Come on, leg. Get in there. Although I kind of wish the legs stayed in a little bit more. That's okay, I guess. But yeah, look how clean that back is as well too. My gall, that is a wonderful backpack. If I have ever seen one. Alrighty. So, Midako here. Look, Look, man, come on. It's huge. Even next to the cannon, Midako is just overshadowed by the bigness of this boy. He is just ginormous. Matter of fact, hang on just a minute. Matter of fact, here's one final test. Alright. Okay, here's Mena. Take off his sword. Give him a hug, because he needs one. That's how big this is. It's so big you can give it a hug. He's had a bad day. He's a little bit iffy. He's Menacor, for crying out loud. And that is, sorry about that camera cut mistake, but listen, I love this thing. I am so glad I got this. The combiner figures were a little expensive, especially around the end with breakdown, but honestly, I'm glad I picked it up. You can pick this up for yourself if you want to cough up a couple of bucks, but you know what? This combiner is just great. It is just fantastic. And as fantastic and huge as this boy is, that's going to be the end of our video and the end of our birthday special. But please, you've seen this sign plenty of times. You know what to do. I'm your host, Birdtendo. Keep it unreal. And I tell you what, if you're going through something in your life, make sure to talk to a therapist, okay? Therapy always works better than taking it out on the people that you hate the most. Don't be a menace to society.